I want to just talk about Chris Paul, not really necessarily for the last time, because I just want to just again say thank you to Chris Paul. Thank you to Chris Paul for all you did for the Valley. Two-time All-Star, two-time All-NBA, 2021-22 assists per game champion, and the 2021 Western Conference champion, Chris Paul. Just some cool highlights of Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to miss Chris Paul, man. I even followed this tweet up by saying Chris Paul is one of the greatest Phoenix Suns ever. I don't care what anybody says. I truly believe that Chris Paul is one of the greatest Phoenix Suns ever. Now, I saw some debate going around on Twitter saying, does Chris Paul deserve to be in the Ring of Honor? I'll just say this. There's obviously guys that deserve it more, like, you know, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, et cetera, et cetera. But does Chris Paul have the resume in a short amount of time to be in the Suns Ring of Honor? Absolutely. Because it wasn't just all the on the court stuff. It was all the off the court stuff. And just the fact that Chris Paul's presence and him being on the Phoenix Suns made us a contender. And I think people forget Chris Paul forced his way to the Phoenix Suns because he saw the vision. He saw what Devin Booker was doing. He saw what the 8-0 bubble Suns did. He communicated with James Jones and everything and said, yeah, I want to be a part of that. You know, he could have stayed with the Oklahoma City Thunder, which, by the way, he led them to the playoffs. He could have said, you know what, you guys have all these draft picks. You got SGA and all these young guys. I want to stay on the Sun or on the Thunder, but he chose to come to Phoenix. And what was it? The first year we went to the finals. The next year won 64 games. And then this year, you know, obviously the playoffs were pretty much a disaster, but still had a pretty good season. We had a roller coaster season. So shout out to Chris Paul, man. I did a random thread video thing on my own Twitter. Pretty much just showing my love and appreciation to Chris Paul. So I just wanted to, again, give him his flowers. I'm sure it's not the last time we will ever be talking about Chris Paul on this channel. And again, I'm one of those few optimists in terms of Chris Paul and Stephen Curry and the Warriors. Because if you guys didn't hear, for some reason, Chris Paul is being traded to the Warriors. I'm one of those optimists that's kind of excited to see what Chris Paul and Steph Curry can do together. Now, obviously, 10 years ago, heck, even like 5-6 years ago, that would have been a lot better. But if Chris Paul can stay healthy, and if that Warriors team can stay healthy, and again, Chris Paul, one of the greatest point guards of all time, setting up the greatest shooter of all time, and another fantastic shooter in Klay Thompson, that's scary, man. Like, think about that. Now, again, the Warriors have a lot of other questions and things they need to address, but just saying, a healthy Chris Paul, a healthy Steph Curry, that's at least an 8 seed, right? Just saying.
What's up, son?